Hello, everybody. Ooh, I gotta kill my camera. Hold on. I don't want to overdo everybody's with too much beautifulness that early.
Beautifulness.
Oh, now I
You're
got.
so fancy.
There you go. Got LS is in here. You still in here, LS? See, these are the people
Uh-oh.
you could have hung out with if you would have volunteered, but you don't want to volunteer.
Dang, I gotta learn how to operate this thing again. Man, it's been a while since I've done this. I better pause. Mute. Dang it.
Here, I can mute
That's
you if
right.
you want me to.
Dang it. It's all right. No. Don't mute me.
Don't mute you. Okay, I won't mute you. I promise.
I promise I'll be okay.
I'll figure it out.
I promise.
This is a very serious podcast, in case anybody's wondering. Um, anyhow. I have with me tonight some very special guests. It took me a while to get enough fuel in the short bus to get them all on here, but we have Wayne from West Wind Survival. We have BA, Staff Sergeant BA from Step 1 Survival. And then we have Just Aid from Just Aid Survival.
I promise I'll be okay.
Have you fallen down? Yeah. I've fallen down and I can't reach my OK button.
I will be okay.
We had some technical difficulties, like I couldn't get the daggum emails right, okay? It's my fault.
Oh, man.
Anyway, if you gentlemen would like to say hi to all the nice people in the deal.
All of you that are joining right now, I just want to say hi and hello, and I love you, and welcome to the chat. And thank you, Wes, for inviting me.
Yep. If I'd have known, why is it still running? I got like a 10-minute ad playing in the background.
That's just the new thing that they do now. It's so you gain some ad revenue while people talk and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently it's that how to make poop not stink in your bathroom ad. I hate that one. LoomDeodorant.com.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I figured we'd get a bigger crowd than this. I guess everybody's at graduation or something.
I just give it a few people roll in. You know what? I can share this. Hang on. If you let me see if I can share this. Let me see. Can I do that?
Probably. I always forget to do that. Hey, Trey.
We can do that. Hang on. Hang on, Honky. I got you.
Supposed to do it on Pinterest.
Yes, I said Honky. For all you white folks out there, I said Honky. All right, hang on. Dang it. Let me change from
Cracker to you.
Switch accounts to. All right, and that. All right, and there's you, and share, copy link, bam, and channel. I can do this. I can do this and make it happen.
Who wants to like gift me about 500 rounds of 357 Magnum?
Oh. Paste.
Because they give that stuff away.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this to happen? Because this is about to happen.
This okay.
I hope so. Because it's about to get crazy up in here.
I hope I don't need to go to the. What do you call it?
Right. Next step, I'm going to do switch accounts. Next account, Rainbow Unicorn. Why not? Let's do that. Your channel. Let's share it on there too. Why not?
We're using our made-up accounts today.
Yeah, we're using our made-up.
accounts. I've got like multiple accounts. It's ridiculous.
If I
It's to save my life in the event that chaos strikes. Posts. Oh snap! Y'all just got broadcast.
cute.
Yep. Y'all just got broadcasted. Tell me how that turned out.
All right. We'll see. We'll give it a minute. Right now, I'm trying to get all these sharp cutting instruments away from. I cut my finger already.
Y'all should be in the Hundy zone
The Hundy zone.
by now. That's 2 different channels that you shared that on. You should at least be in the Hundies.
It takes everybody a while to show up. Like I say, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know, half the states at graduation. Or whatever. Hey, Music Well, I didn't see you sneak in here.
You know what? I could ask. You want me to ask Barry Independent if he wants to come join us?
That'd be cool.
With between you 3 guys, and when we get Barry in here, this thing would run all flipping night long.
We would talk nonstop. It would be ridiculous. I can get him in here if you guys want. I just call him. We're on that level. Apparently, I didn't know.
Hold on, let me see.
I'll message a few other fools, see if I can get them in here. You want full spectrum survival? Let me see if I can get him in the room.
I'm okay with it.
I can call Brad and see if he wants to come join us.
FBI will be at all our houses tomorrow. They're up to something.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, why not? Hell, let's just call everybody. It'd be hilarious. Just
sure,
get all it.
It's not. He's not gonna. Hey, come here. Whoop. I'll send him an invite. You can send
Yeah.
I sent him a link to his email.
Okay.
If I don't know if he's gonna check it or not.
Tell him I'm here.
You send him a link. You can send him a link too. You can send it to his phone. Yeah. Just go to the top, drop down, and put invite people or whatever. I think you can.
What the hell?
Are you dropping stuff again, Wayne?
Yeah.
Stop that. A while ago, you dropped it yourself.
I need to clean up the shop. I've been working nonstop for like 2 weeks and just throwing stuff everywhere.
I started to clean the shop today. I picked up the broom. I walked to the window and looked in there, and I put the broom back down and came back in here. Problem solved. I turned the light off. Can't see the mess. Not an
I think after tomorrow, I'll take a break, do a bushcraft video, and do some hiking.
Hey, Tina.
Let me go look for his number. I'll see if I can add him. He's not in my roster. Let's see if I can add him to the roster. I'll give him a call. See if he can jump in.
I didn't think about it.
Let's give it a try. It's worth a shot. Why not? It'll be good fun. What's he gonna do? Come whoop my ass?
I don't know.
I think I could take him. I'm trained in like like an assortment of martial arts, so I think I can handle it. Let's see.
This guy picked me up and walked around the park with me when we were in Oklahoma. Yeah.
Can I invite? I can invite Savage.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Chipper.
I don't know how to invite people.
That's all right. I got him. I sent him a link in a text. Well, he may have something going on because they were talking about going up to Iowa and all that and seeing if they could help with the tornadoes thing again. I don't know. He may be working on getting that done. Brian Shugum in here too. Didn't see. Yeah, there he is. Hey, Brian.
I'd like to do another trip like that. We did the one last winter where we went down to Oregon, helped out some elderly people that were snowed in with trees blocking the house.
Yeah. Hey, Delaware. If I could get loose, I would go help them this time. I believe it or not, Iowa is closer than Florida. I'm sorry, it is. For me, 2-day drive to Florida for me. Because it's I'm north or northern, more north than I am south of Texas in Texas. So
I can send the invite.
Yeah, he may not come over, man. I don't know if he does this kind of stuff or not. But anyhow, I actually have a scenario I'd really like to go over. If y'all wouldn't mind, let me read through it, and then I'm going to go in order of the people that are on my screen. So I'm going to give Just Eight the first shot at this after I read it. Okay, this is the scenario, and I know it's probably not the most likely thing on the planet, but it could happen. You're on a self-improvement you're on a couch in a self-improvement getaway far from home. You're driving down a secluded 2-lane road in a rental car. You have your gear with you. You're 80 miles from anywhere. 80 miles any direction you want to choose. You're 80 miles from anywhere. And a vehicle comes into view from the opposite direction. The EMP hits at that exact point. Boom, bam, everything's off. Your car and the other car coast to a stop within a few yards of each other. You're alone. The other car is a family, a man, a wife, and 2 children. Not little baby children, but little sad 5 and a 7-year-old. Okay. They will die.
Yeah.
Well, because the other car is a family that are full on condition white. They are completely clueless, unaware, and unprepared. Okay. They don't know what's going on. You know what's going on. First step is to make an 80-mile hike. What do? Do you help or not? Just go. Your turn.
If it's a decent family, yeah, I'm going to help them out. I live in England, so there's nowhere really 80 miles before you get to a small village or a town. Where I'm going to go, I'm in the north of England. I'm going to be about 3 or 4 days walk from my house anyway. But yeah, I help them out best I can, get them in the right direction, then I'll be on my way.
All right. Number next is you, step 1 survival.
All right, definitely would want to help them out, and this goes back to my talk that I had today, was with baby children and crying in the yard. I have been stuck in these situations where I'm watching other people's children, and I've got 3 kids of my own, and my neighbors they just drop their kids off with me. And without any question, and they don't even come over and say hi. How about a cup of tea? You want to share some coffee with me or anything like that? It's more of a hey. They have a person that actually watches children, and why not? their kids are very active, so why not just drop their kids off on me? So I've been dealing with that lately. And yes, if there was a child and a 5 and 7 year old, it doesn't matter the age, but in the case that their SHTF dropped off and there's some kids and there's no parents involved, then obviously I would have to pick them up and take them under my wing and help them as much as I can. So, and to keep them alive, because it's important to that if you're in a situation of like, for example, like a tornado or an earthquake or a flood, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't have to be like an EMP, but an EMP is pretty bad. You're in a situation where you can't contact your loved ones, and if there's a child in the middle of the road crying for their family and they have no family nearby, then obviously you're going to pick them up and figure out where their family is. You're not going to leave them there. It's part of humanity. It's your humanity, your humanitarian instincts to pick up a child and help them find their way. You're not going to leave them. You're not going to leave them. It's just bottom line. No one's going to get left behind, and you know that. And most you folks that are watching know that you're not going to leave nobody behind. You're not going to leave a kid behind. Absolutely not. You know that. You're going to find a child, crying for their mother and father. You're not going to leave them behind. Absolutely not. You're going to get sucked into that immediately. Granted, it could be a trap in some cases to gain access to you to steal what's yours. So be aware of your surroundings and be conscious. Keep that guard up. And in the event that they're using the child for bait, because they could use it for bait, use the kid for bait and to drag you into a situation where it's like, hey man, come on into this situation right here, and then oh snap, you got a pack and some gear, and oh snap, look at all that food, next thing you know, you've got your gear is gone, and you're left with a kid that's not yours that leaves with the group and leaves with your bag and everything else. So make sure that you keep your eyes open for these situations, because in the event that it could be a sucker move for some, but don't lose your humanitarian aid. It's help the individual that's lost. Still try and help, but look around to make sure it's not a danger and a trap. So that's all I got.
Okay. Wayne, it's on you.
Yeah, in this scenario, are you by yourself?
You're by yourself.
Okay.
If you have a family, your family is, and remember, you personally are more than 80 miles away from your family. And the first thing you have to do, and these other people have to do, is make the 80 miles.
Yeah.
To have any chance at all.
Well, I do my best to help them out within reason. If they're going the same way, I'd give them information. I usually have, especially if I'm traveling and doing personal stuff, it always involves outdoor stuff. So I always have at least my survival bag, even in a rental car. And I always buy water. So, I would load up my bottles and everything and make sure that, they had some out of the case. And if they're going the same way, probably walk with them and help them out the best I could. And especially if they're condition white, though, prepared or unaware and completely unprepared, I would probably just help them along the road along the same way that I was going until they got to, wherever they planned on going or decided to break off.
Who did? Yeah, Buzzard, things are good. Yes, well, good enough for right now. We're going to talk some drama after a while. Those are all good answers. I actually had this planned out to catch a guy that I know his always, and his and mine are the same. If you're caught away from home, step one, get back to your family. If you're caught away, like when we were in San Antonio, me and Rob were in San Antonio, we had the discussion, how do we get back home? If something happens while we're down here, how are we going to do this? Because it was a big deal for us. I mean, our entire world was 300 miles away. Okay, and it was going to be, we're looking at least a week, probably 2 weeks, if everything goes perfect, for us to get back to our prospective places. So a lot of these different scenarios come up, and it was, it never crossed our mind, what if we run into somebody else who's in the same boat? Now then, let's add to it though. Let's say you want to help, because that's what people do. They help, and this is day one. They don't have a clue. At the very least, you got to tell them, hey, this EMP, that car ain't going to get started. You ain't going to get no cell phone. There's not going to be any help coming yet. I mean, at least that. But let's say that we've got the 7 and the 5-year-old child, and they're good kids. I mean, it's a little redheaded boy and a little blonde-headed girl with blue eyes. The little redheaded boy got green eyes, and he pretty, and the mama's pretty. But the husband is a professional, like, I don't know, guy who used to be in charge or whatever. He's a total jerk. 2 hours into the walk away, you've decided to help him. You figure out that he is a complete jerk.
Jerk face.
Yeah, he's a jerk face.
Yeah.
What changes? Does that change anything for you, Justin?
No, I do what I do in the world now. I'll just bypass that person, and then we deal with the wife or the mother. We should do that quite a lot in my work.
So
I just concentrate on getting the conversation going with her, because all she wants to do is make sure kids are all right. So I'm going to help her do that, and then she'll just she can deal with her husband, because she knows him better than I do, so she can deal with him, and I'll deal with her and the kids.
Okay, that works. BA, same thing to you.
I would look at this as I've been in situations like this where, okay, so you're dealing with the husband that's a total jerk face, and you need to explain to him. It's real simple. I mean, if you're in a preparedness mindset, like, right, survivalist and preparedness mindset. Okay, you're in the mindset, and you need to explain to them that immediately that in order, your chances of survival are much greater by following me, and you need to prove to them why. If you are superior in the aspect of preparedness and survival, then you need to go ahead and express that right away. Because here's the thing. They could end up following just him because he is in charge. He is in charge of the group. It doesn't matter what the wife says sometimes. Take it for example, like my wife. Okay. So if you tried to explain to Sippy, okay, let's do this. Let's do this game. This is fun. So try to explain to Sippy that you need to go, that we need to go with you, right? Trying to explain to Sippy we need to go with you, and then you got me on the side like, hell no. There's roadblocks and blah blah blah. All this kind of crap. You need to be able to explain to the individual, do you want to die? You need to put out the harsh words. You need to put out them harsh words. If you don't put out them harsh words, then that person is not going to listen to you. You need to go ahead and get hardcore. You need to go ahead and drop the bomb on them and say, "Are you ready to die? Because you guys are going to die right here if you don't follow me." You know, you need to talk to that individual like, you know, if you guys want, you guys can stay right here, and your kids are going to die. Your wife is going to die if you guys don't follow me right now, because we need to get the hell out of here. Because if you stay right here, you ain't going to get no water. You're not going to get any nutritional value out of anything from these cars. So let's get rolling. Come on, let's go.
There's
That's what I
that.
got.
But yeah, the thing is, I mean, if I'm on a 2-lane secluded road and the EMP hits and my car goes to a stop, and then a Toyota 4Runner or whatever goes to a stop in front of me, and I get out, and Staff Sergeant BA and Sippy Cup and the 3 little hellions get out of the vehicle, I'm gonna be like, I'm going with y'all for starters.
Well, let's just pretend. Let's just pretend you guys don't know who we are.
Oh,
And that's just the thing. It's like you got to pretend like in the event for us. I mean, obviously, we would try and filter in as many people as possible for Sippy and I to handle, and we would try and make our way out there. You know, it would be a different story if it's Sippy and I, but not everybody out there is Sippy and I. So, you know, she has a medical background. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unmatched, and you can't match Sippy to a lot of people out there. I'm gonna be, you know, I'll be honest with you. Sippy has a lot of medical knowledge, and she stayed up long at night to study this stuff, and you know, unless it's you know, Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, you know, you're talking about, you know, like the only comparison would be Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, you know, at this point. You know, as far as Sippy's concerned, that's my opinion of Sippy. That's my wife, and you know, and that's my opinion of her, because she has such an amazing knowledge of the human body, and from EMT, because she did the EMT role, and then she did Border Patrol for so long, and so many other occupations along the way up until nurse. So, you know, I would definitely.
she was a Border Patrol badass.
Yeah, she was a badass Border Patrol agent. She was hardcore. I'm not supposed to tell too many people, but it's okay. She doesn't care, because nobody's going to come looking for her to ring out a hit on a Border Patrol agent, you know, former Border Patrol agent. It's more like if someone's still a Border Patrol agent that they try to ring out the hits on. But she's a former Border Patrol agent, so she's trained in multiple weapons and knows how to clear and all kinds of stuff. You know,
Yeah, shot more guns than you. Yeah.
she's pretty solid. I mean, she's hardcore, man. I mean, she knows. What's cool about Border Patrol agents is that they know the laws, you know, the system and laws. And I didn't know they taught all that stuff, but she schooled me, and she knows like law. She actually knows like what law enforcement agents know. She actually studied that aspect of it too, because it's actually connected to law enforcement. I had no idea, but she schooled me. And but the thing is that here's the thing, like you know, not everybody's going to be like Sippy and I, you know, jumping out of a vehicle. You know, I'm trained in multiple aspects of weirdness, but you know, she's trained in multiple aspects of weirdness, and you know, not everybody's going to be trained in that kind of stuff. So here's the thing, like if you're an individual and you jump out of a vehicle and you're not trained in any of those things, and then you've got some family next to you that's very unfortunate, you know, very unfortunate times and situations, and they've got some little kids, you need to take them under your wing. Even if you're trained or not, you know, you should still try to do your best, do what you can, because it goes back into everything that makes you a human being. You know, if the individuals are being difficult or whatever, you know, look, if you know like the slightest bit about prepping and survival, you know that you need to get the hell out of there because it's a death trap. It's a death trap because you're waiting in a line of cars. You're waiting in a line of cars as a death trap. So you're waiting to die, and you need to let them know and explain to them. You know, you're waiting to die. You're gonna die eventually. You know, you're in hot sun or whatever the aspects of the environments are. But you know, the thing is that you're waiting to die. You don't want to wait to die. You want to get on the run. Get moving. Get your body moving and get somewhere that provides nourishment like water and food and all that stuff, all the resources that you need. So, but yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, Westwind. And same to you on the. I mean, you find out the guy's a total jerk face. What do you do? Like somebody said in the chat over here, 2 miles down the road, you figure out Dad's a dick. I mean, what do we do different?
I probably wouldn't do anything different than BA said. You got to have a
face, man,
in a one-way conversation with them for them to get the point in that case.
Yep. That's all you got to do. You might end up having to, you might end up in a damn fist fight with the guy. I mean, but the point is that you need to get the point across is that you're going to die here. You're going to die here. And that's the point. You need to get that point across real quick is that if you stay here, you're going to die. And your kids are going to die. You're going to die last, because you got more meat on your bones. You got more, a little bit more water in your system. Your kids are going to die first. Your kids are going to die horrible deaths. And they're going to die first. You're going to watch them die. That's the key thing that you need to explain to your kids. Explain to them is that the kids are going to die first. Your kids are going to die first, man, because they have tiny little organs, tiny little bodies, and they don't have very much water, very much water weight in their bodies at all. So they're going to die first, and you're going to get to watch them die. And that's what you need to explain to the sarcastic, evil, mean dad. That's what you're going to need to explain to them is that you're going to get to watch your kids die. So there you go. And you can either follow me or you're going to get to watch your whole family die.
See, this is why we need to have talks like this because my response to the finding out the dad was a jerk face is take him out in the woods and say, hey, you got bit by a snake, he's dead, we need to go home. What was that loud noise? Don't pay no attention to it. He didn't get shot in the back of the head, I promise.
This goes into all the I watch a lot of spy briefs and things like that. Like I learn as much as I can from spies and I have friends that are Navy SEALs. I don't flaunt them too much, but they like to come on and run their mouths a lot, but it's cool. I have friends that are Navy SEALs. I have friends, all my friends are Marines, and in the environment that we get pushed through, it isn't all about demolition and underwater survival. It's about land survival as well, and you get to talking about folks that are they have no idea, the absolute no idea. You need to convince them, and sometimes you have to sell something to them to get them to believe. And it's you all have to become car salesmen at some point to get someone to believe that the grass on the other side is greener and that you guys are going to live if you keep moving. You have to be able to convince them, because if you don't, then you're going to have more casualties on your hands. And that goes into falling in behind enemy lines and running into small tribes and convincing them to join your forces and training them to become warriors and joining your fight. So, I mean, it is. I know it's a whole other ball game, but convincing someone that jumped out of a car, out of a Honda Prius, or whatever. Is it a Prius? Is it a Honda?
Toyota, but that's okay.
Honda Prius. And did I get that right? I can't remember if I got that right. But anyways, they jumped out of a Prius and they have no idea what on earth is going on, and the guy is a total douchebag. But you need to be able to explain to the douchebag that, hey, look, man, listen, this is life, and you guys are all going to die if you don't follow me. You're going to have to do it at some point. You're going to have to take a stand and put your foot down. And, I mean, you don't have to be special forces to figure this out. I mean, it's like, who are you? That's the whole thing. They all want your resume. That's the thing with millennials. A lot of folks out there, they all want your resume. They want to know your whole background. That's stuff I deal with all the time. It's like, I want to know your whole background. Well, here's my background. You're all gonna fucking die. How's that sound to you?
Yeah.
How's that sound to you? You're all gonna die. All right, I'm rolling. You can come with me or not. Stay here. You get to watch your kids die first, and that's what I would leave them with. You get to watch your kids die first, because they're gonna die first. The kids are gonna be the first to go.
And that's what
And
a lot.
if you got elderly, if you got like, hey, grandma, grandpa, if grandma and grandpa is riding with them, grandma and grandpa are going to die first. They're going to die with the kids. And it's just going to be you two, those two that are like, thinking this is just, their beautiful lives or whatever. Those two are going to be the ones that live to tell the story of their grandpa and grandma dying in the back of their car with their kids. I mean, I don't need to get into like Kuma Matata ways, but the thing is that they need to roll. And they all need to roll together, and they all need to move. And it's just bottom line. I mean, but the thing you need to explain to them is that your kids are going to die first. And that could be a substantial like movement thing. Like if you say to an individual, your kids are going to die first, I guarantee you they will get their asses moving. They will get to humping. They'll get to running down that road. They'll follow you in a heartbeat. If you tell them your kids are going to die first, they'll move in a heartbeat. That's all you need to say.
What do you
and then you say, well, then your wife is going to die. You will live because, and depending on how bony they are, if they look like a bag of potato chips with a rubber band wrapped around it, that means that they're fat. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be mean. But if they look like a bag of potato chips with a rubber band wrapped around it, then you can say you're probably going to outlive your entire family because of burn. You can tell them. You can tell them right then. You look like a bag of potato chips with a rubber band wrapped around it. But you can tell them if you want to. But the thing is that here's the point: your kids are going to die first. So bottom line. Keep them alive. Don't die. Stay alive. Follow the group. Follow this dude right here. What's your background? My background is staying alive. That's it.
My background
is staying alive. Staying alive, motherfucker.
It would be a really bad idea to be stuck on the side of the road with me if you look like a bag of potato chips with a rubber band around the middle.
Got a lot of walking to do.
A lot of walking to do.
But they're going to win the Hunger Games.
Yeah, there you go. What were you trying to say a while ago, Just Dave?
Pardon?
What were you trying to say a while ago?
I see. I'd be saying all that to the mother because then all their maternal instincts will kick in. I think she'll listen to you more than anyone else, and then she'll just do what she wants to do.
I agree with you, Just Dave. I totally agree with you, Just Dave, because chances are, the average mom and the average mother listens to individuals that are I tell you what, man, it comes a case, man, where that the guy aspect just gets like muted out.
Yeah.
So, you are probably going to win in that situation where you're like, hey, I need to talk to you real quick because, then she's going to mute out. She's possibly going to mute out the dude. I'm just throwing out there because there's a huge chance that you're probably like 100% right. It's a huge chance that she's going to mute the dude out because that happens with me sometimes with Sippy. She mutes me out like I get so angry, but she mutes me out sometimes, and I just assume that she would probably mute me out in some situations. You just keep going.
Moving on, we got it's 80 Mile Hike. We've just all decided to help. We've got data and control in the first day. Now remember, we're 80 miles from anywhere and several hundred miles from home already. I mean, we flew to the rental car. We've got our get home bag, we got a way to make fire, way to water, the whole 9 yards. But it's day 2, and one of the adults, let's say the bag of potato chips, twists an ankle. So Dad's now injured. The big fat guy with the skinny pretty wife and the two pretty kid is now injured. What do you do now? I mean, because staying there with him is going to put everybody in danger. What do you do? Just
make a stretcher.
He looks like a bag of potato chips with a rubber band around the middle. I mean, the 300-pound dude. That little bit of added to the thing or whatever is. I mean, you could try to carry him. I guess. I mean, you could put the 2 kids on one side and the wife on one corner, and you could take the other 150 pounds. I guess. But that would be one thing to do. I didn't mean to disrespect you or anything, Justin, but I mean.
Oh no, if the guy's mega heavy, you got to think of something else. But normal 14-stone dude or something, then yeah, you should be able to make a stretcher and carry him out.
This is where I get confused on.
Or you can go back to the car, make a cart out of it, a 2-wheel cart, and then carry him out in that.
What I would do, I've thought about this one. I mean, if somebody gets hurt in your, the new little group that you're trying to get to a place with, you've only made it a third of the way there because it's little kids. They can't. Everybody thinks, oh, we'll walk it out. No, I've taken my kids to car show, or grandkids to car show. Well, kids and grandkids to car shows. They can't walk all day. It's somebody winds up carrying a kid, 2, and that's when there's lemonade and shade trees all over the place, and you're not actually trying to cover any ground. You're just walking around having fun.
Yeah.
Yep, Delaware's kind of cold. Wayne, what do you think? I'm gonna just let you jump ahead of BA on this one.
Man, I played football on a broken ankle, and I did my last deployment half broken with busted up back and no cartilage in my knees. I'd wrap his ankle and tell him to suck it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems fair.
That's the Navy in him. That's the Navy in him talking. I'm telling you, those Navy cats, don't mess with them. They will fool you. They will wrap their knees in freaking duct tape. You don't mess with Navy. I got some Navy. Like I said, I got some Navy SEALs buddies that they talk about endurance. They talk about endurance like it's a game, like it's like going through the Buzz program, and they like wrap their knees in freaking duct tape and all kinds of weird stuff. Don't mess with Navy. I'm telling you right now, they will wrap their knees in duct tape and cardboard boxes and weird stuff. They know the game. They know the game, and they will win. They will win. I'm telling you, don't mess with them. I'm telling you, don't mess with Navy. They're hard as nails.
All right. Okay, let's reverse it. Okay. Same scenario, middle of nowhere, hundreds and hundreds of miles from home. The EMP hits, and y'all are closer. The two cars impact, and you're the person injured.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, what do you do then?
Well, how am I injured though? What injury do I have? Do I have a sprained ankle? I mean, did I blow my knee out? Am I having a back enemy? Do I need that itis?
Your left foot is now on backwards.
The left foot is backwards.
Yep, something's broke.
And so I flip it forward. So I gotta flip it forward and add some duct tape. All right, I got it. Flip it forward, add some duct tape, and hop. Do a lot of hopping. So I would need something to make a walking stick, some sort of stick to walk on, right? Like a walking cane or something. I'm sure at some point. If that's the case, man, damn. I mean, that's just rough. I mean, you're talking about me being injured, and then having to deal with other people. I would tell them, at that point, I'd tell them, you come with me if you want, but if not, then whatever. Don't care, but I'm on my own. Whatever.
Just don't eat me.
I think that would be the point.
I was just trying to segue into the next thing. We talk, these little what if deals or whatever. The whole thing is, we never know. Was it the Corsair or somebody else that did the first one? What do you do if? I mean, if
what? What if grasshoppers had machine guns?
Yeah,
the birds wouldn't fuck with them.
What are we going to do? I mean, there's no way we can prepare for everything. I mean, it doesn't do me any good to have 2 years worth of groceries stored up if I'm in Australia on vacation when it hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'm stuck eating kangaroos and wombats or whatever they are.
Oh man, you don't want to go to Australia. I'm telling you right now, the meat tastes awful. Even McDonald's tastes awful. The meat doesn't taste right. The meat, it doesn't matter where you go in Australia. The meat in Australia is awful. Don't go there. And if you like meat, if you're a meat eater, don't go to Australia. If you're a vegetarian, go to Australia. But if you're a meat eater, don't go to Australia.
I thought they ate over there anyway.
You're going to be very disappointed. It's not going to taste very good.
Eat kangaroo.
Even freaking like McDonald's tastes gamey. I don't get it. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting taste. I don't understand how McDonald's stays in business. So gross.
Do y'all have McDonald's over there?
Yes.
They got America. Hell, Russia's got one.
Yeah.
Freaking Korea's got one.
No, they
what's funny? I never told these are the BA Untold stories. I thought about making a video log of like BA's Untold stories, but like my overseas adventures, like just ridiculousness. And I tell you right now, man, freaking like McDonald's in other countries is ridiculous. Like, for example, like what was it? Japan. Okay, I was in like Roppongi, Japan, And I think that's right. And did I say that right? I'm not sure. If I screwed that up, whatever. Who cares? Anyways, I was in Japan. Let's just say Japan. So I was in Japan and Yokosuka, Japan, and then from there I went to like Roppongi and all these other places. Japan, their McDonald's, like they don't have double quarters. There's no double quarter pounders because no one can handle it. And they all looked at me funny when I asked for 3 little cheeseburgers because they don't have double cheeseburgers. Because I asked for a bunch of little cheeseburgers, and it was enough cheeseburgers to feed everybody in the entire building. Because, they are tiny. They're tiny little folks. They're tiny little people. And here I am rolling away with a tray full of burgers to feed myself because I'm hungry. And they all look at me like I'm the Jolly Green Giant getting ready to stomp on their face. All I wanted was some burgers. But it's different there. It's much different there. They don't have, there's no double quarters. There's no fat burgers. There's no. If you want a fat burger, it's done. You get a little burger. You get a little burger, a little bitty fry, a little bitty French fry. That's all you get. And it's the same in Korea. Korea's the same way. China, same way. All those places, they're all the same way. They're little bitty burgers, tiny little burgers, and you're lucky if you get like that. You start asking for more. You start asking for more, and they start looking at you funny. They start looking at you like you're a crazy person. You're like, I need 6 of those to fill me up.
We were talking about eating platypus. There's one rule I have about if I ever make it to Australia, I will never get anywhere close to a duckbill platypus. No way.
Oh man!
Unless it's dead and somebody else cleans it for me. Those things, the male platypus has spurs on its back legs that inject the most painful toxin on the planet.
I will tell you right now, Wes, Australia is awesome because they love Americans. They absolutely love us. They love us. I mean, you go there and you say you're American, they will love you and they will take you on adventures. I'm just saying. But their food is awful because their meat. It's the food. The thing is, what I was explaining to from all the other lingos that they explained to me is that like the Aborigines are awful apparently, and the food there is that the cows and everything graze on grass and stuff that's different from the United States, so that makes the meat taste funkier. And it's not that you're not eating kangaroo. For those of you out there that are thinking that you eat kangaroo, you don't eat kangaroo when you eat like McDonald's or nothing. It's the thing is that the meat is because the cows and everything, they graze on different environment. So they're eating like different grain and stuff. So that's the reason why the meat tastes funky. Because anyways, it's because of the Anyway, you get the point.
Just to same thing. Budweiser is made under license in the UK. It's exactly the same recipe, but because the hops and barley and malt have been grown in different soil and it's brewed with different water, it actually tastes different to the American stuff. Because I've tried American Budweiser, and it's got a slightly different taste, but it's the same. It's made exactly the same way.
So you're saying that British can screw up Budweiser?
No, it's the hops and barley and stuff. Like from their location is different than in the United States. It's different. It's just all of it's different. I try to explain this to everybody that like goes to other countries because I've been to 36 countries. I'm not gonna lie. I don't sugarcoat it or fabricate it. I've been to 36 different countries, and out of all 36 different countries, everything's been different to me. It's all been different. The beers and everything is just so much different. It's so much different. It's something that you'll never understand is unless it happened. And, unless you get it imported to the United States, you're not going to know the difference. And imports are good. Imports are good because you get a chance to experience the unusualness of different countries. But I could live without Australian meat. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Australian meat is just, yeah. I could do without the meat. I went to a place that was called the Purple Cow because here in Tennessee, we have a purple cow. Here on the East Tennessee, we have a purple cow. And when you hear purple cow, it's like, oh man, it's a good burger joint. Well, in Australia, they had a purple cow. And I took it as like, oh man, they got a purple cow. And I brought all my boys there, right? So we had a whole fire team of Marines come with me to the Purple Cow. And I was like, man, this has got to be good. And we took a bite out of that shit. That's all she wrote. Yuck.
Well, now we got to be careful. We got Pepsi and Coke going on over here in the side chat. That's like Dr. Pepper over on the East Coast. Don't taste nothing like the Dr. Pepper in Texas.
No. Yeah, there's a big difference between the Dr. Peppers. That's a long distance, man. I mean, you guys are getting different Dr. Pepper, man. Tell me.
We used to have the original Dr. Pepper place here. It was pretty good, but they sold out. Or, well, they got bought out.
Yeah, you guys are getting different Dr. Pepper there.
Anyway, on the let's move forward. We were talking about this earlier on before you jumped in. We're talking about the gun controls and all that stuff about that shooting in Virginia or whatever.
Good talk.
Wayne was saying some stuff about it before. I told him to hold on, and we finished it up in the chat. What do you think about that shooting over in Virginia, Mr. Survival, Wayne, West Wind Survival?
I think it's that they're publicizing it so much in the media to help push that TAPS Act that's going through. It's nothing really out of the ordinary over there. There were people getting shot every day when I was there. Even right across the street from where I lived, every night at 10 o'clock, you'd start hearing gunshots and people screaming.
They just don't talk about it. When we have people getting shot at, and 90 miles any direction, somebody gets shot every day. We've had several people get shot here, but it's not here. It's not people who are legal gun owners, and that's the only one they put on the national news are people that are legal gun owners that have, for whatever, snapped and gone and done something stupid. They don't most, and then they want to run the same damn, excuse me, they want to run the same numbers, including the people that are criminals that are using guns for criminal activity in all of the shootings and stuff to promote more gun control. When in fact, most of the gun violence is perpetuated by people who are not only not legal owners of the firearm, they didn't acquire the gun legally. The gun was stolen or smuggled in from south of the border or north of the border or over the water or whatever. And they want to run all that together to try to bash and destroy our, right to keep and bear arms. And I find it really annoying. So, just that y'all got, what do y'all got? Y'all's problem over there is knife violence, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's seasonal. It's all died down again now, and then when it happens again, there'll be a load more reported. Hang on a minute. Right. County I come from is Nottinghamshire. My county town, Nottingham, actually has the biggest gun crime rate in the country. That's including London. But we never hear about that on the news. The knife crime thing was just a big spat. And then when it happens again next year, it'll be on the news for a bit next year.
You say it's seasonal. What makes it be seasonal? Seasonal.
Oh, it happens all the time. It's just the media only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? They pick up on something that's brutal, like someone's been attacked with a machete or a sword or something. That'll make the news, and then for the next couple of weeks, there'll be every stabbing in the country reported, and then it'll just fade off to the next big news story. You know, sure, it happens in America as well.
I used to wonder whether or not I'd rather be hiking across the country with my little bug out bag, carrying a machete or axe or a tomahawk. Dude, it's machete all the way. I had to slaughter a goat by myself, and I couldn't do the throat thing because, well, I couldn't figure out how to do it just doing the throat. So I did the machete thing, and yeah, I couldn't have done that with an axe to save my butt. I'll be toting me a machete. So yeah, if there's a machete attack and somebody missing an arm, that guy wasn't trying. So dude, I mean, it goes right through everything. But then again, that machete I used was 3 foot long. So, and are they trying to pass any more knife laws or anything, Just Aid?
Not at the moment, no.
Throwing machetes is like the bomb.
Yeah, I watched that video. That was really cool.
Dude, I don't. All right, sorry. I get really excited when I start talking about throwing things. Like, I love throwing knives now. I'm like all about throwing knives and throwing hatchets and weird stuff. It's so easy, and there's so many techniques I need to learn. But I don't know. I've been watching, a lot of unusual channels of like that do a lot of throwing, and it's crazy the tactical advantage the person has by knowing how to throw a blade. And it's so easy, and I don't understand why people don't take this up as a sport and hobby, more often, because I'm stuck in situations where I'm surrounded by crackheads. I'll say it. You get offended if you want, but I'm surrounded by druggies. Everywhere I go, there's like druggies everywhere. I get to thinking like, so, I have 3 kids to worry about. So I'm looking at every aspect of, like, as far as fighting goes, I'm trained in 20 different fighting styles, and from 20 different fighting styles to being a black belt myself, I can fight. Okay, so I can fight. Whoop-de-doo. I can grab a person, twist their arm, whatever, and take them down. And who cares? The aspect of like advantages. How many other advantages do I have? I know all that, but what about, like, am I just going to shoot them with my sidearm, my gun or whatever? What if my gun is malfunctioning? What am I going to do then? And I get to thinking about all these other aspects of like how to fight, how to kill a mofo, and one thing I never picked up and ran with was throwing knives and the axe and all this other stuff. And now that I have never felt better. I feel much more confident knowing that I can no spin a knife, that I can spin a knife or whatever, in different angles, up, down, side to side, it doesn't matter. It's good to know you can do that. It's good. It's good. It's a good feeling. And especially if you live in a country that doesn't allow firearms and you know how to spin, no spin, and all that other stuff, that's good. That's good. That's really good because you're one step closer to protecting yourself and everyone around you, knowing how to do that stuff. Because that's like archery. I got pretty good at archery. I teaching people how to shoot, but I can't carry a bow around with me. I'm not going to go to the supermarket with a bow on my hip, or a bow on my back or whatever. So this kind of goes with concealment. Can I conceal a few blades? Sure, I can. I can. Even a 3-inch blade, I can no spin. I can no spin a 3-inch blade. That's pretty cool. I mean, tent pegs. They're classified as tent stakes, right? So tent stakes, they're classified as tent stakes. What do you do? As far as I'm concerned, they're classified as tent stakes, and they're on my hip. So in the event that I end up in a situation, that's a 9mm tent stake to the heart, or to the eyeball, or whatever. You got to look at these things like weapons of opportunity, right? So in the event that you're in a situation where you're at a supermarket or whatever, and there happens to be a bunch of ink pens next to the counter or whatever, you can no spin those into someone's eyeball, or whatever. You got to look at weapons of opportunity. You can't just look at, the whole life has to be a gun. You don't have to have a gun for everything. There's situations where you don't need a gun. You could just stab someone in the face with something. You have to look at these other alternatives because you're still focusing a 9mm something into their eyeball. Even if you carried a 9mm or a 380, a 380 auto or whatever. I know I'm rambling, but the thing is that the most important part is protecting yourself and everyone around you. And if you live in a world, like Just Aid, for example, Just Aid is a good example of all this. I'm saying Just Aid is a good example of all this because, Just Aid's not going to build a Glock. He's not going to build a Glock. Everybody's like, oh, well, I carry a Glock or whatever. What does Just Aid carry? You know what I mean? Because Just Aid's not going to be able to carry all that stuff. He's going to have to carry a knife. You know what I mean?
So anything, so I'd have to grab what's around me. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. So he's gonna the best person to learn these types of skills would be like Just Aid. Just Aid would be perfect to learn these kind of skills that I learned. All this stuff that throwing knives and throwing objects and weird stuff. Because I throw weird stuff, man. I throw everything. I have thrown e-tools, entrenching tools at my targets. I don't videotape everything I do. It's like someone asked me if I had my ham license the other day. It's like a weirdo. Well, BA, we know you don't have your ham. How do you know I don't have my ham license, weirdo? Because I have my ham license and I don't share it with anyone. Why do I not share it with anyone? Because I don't know any of you. Why would I share my ham license with everyone I don't know? This makes no sense. Anyways, but the thing is,
tent stakes, though, just a little FYI, a little cool thing. The aluminum tent stakes that you get.
Y'all need to enunciate tent stakes, apparently.
The tent stakes, the TENT stakes that you get that have the plastic cap on them for tying down stuff, you can go to the hardware store and buy a 30-penny nail or something like that.
It's called a 9-inch nail.
And put the
Tent stakes are 10-inch nails.
Yeah, the length. No, it's a penny. But if you're going to, these things are, what are those things I bought to replace the tent stakes? Those nails were like 14 inch. They were like, no, 13 and a half inches long, the same size as the tent stakes.
Yeah.
They were 13 and a half inches long.
Yeah.
Made out of steel.
Yeah.
They're a little heavy, but they don't bend, and you can sharpen them up real nice.
Perfect to throw. Perfect to throw. If you take those and you just sharpen the ends of them to a point, they won't stick in everything. They won't stick in like hardwood and stuff, maybe a tree or whatever, but some things they will not stick in. And it's not your fault that they don't stick. It's just that they don't stick in certain things. Softer objects they stick in. And that's the point, is that I said point. The point is that they stick in certain objects, and like you sharpen the edge on a 13-inch nail, right? You sharpen the point on it, and you do the no spin glide, right? You know, the glide for no spin for you need to look up quill throwing videos, like what I did. I did quill throwing, and that's what quill throwing is. If you've got quills and you're throwing them, it's straight. It's a straight metal object. It's round, and it doesn't have any edge to it at all. So objects like that would be classified as a quill, and it's like a ninja quill. So I know it sounds weird and silly to talk about ninjas, but it's a ninja quill is what it is. Just what it's called. It's classified as a ninja quill. So quilling, to throw a quill, it is a no spin object. So you don't spin a quill. So when you throw a quill, anything's a rod. Anything that's shaped like a rod, you don't throw it like a knife. You do not throw it like a knife. It won't even fly like a knife. So you have to throw it like a quill. And to throw it like a quill, it classifies as no spin. So no spin is like flat hand. Like I explained in my video, you have to be flat-handed, and you lay your thumb over the quill, which is the object you're throwing. You lay your thumb over it. You lay it flat in your hand, lay your thumb over it, and put pressure on it, and then you rotate your hand. And then right back, all the way back, and then fling it, and that's how you get a quill to fly. So it doesn't matter if it's a nail, a metal rod you found in your backyard, or whatever. It doesn't matter, as long as they have a sharp point on it. It'll go into a human body pretty freaking easy. Human body is like, it's super soft. Compared to a quill will go all the way through a human body if you throw it, but it'll bounce off of a wooden target. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you hit some wooden targets, it'll bounce off of. But if you did the same force to a human body, it'll go straight through. That's the difference. Like, people get confused about force and what it does. It's because of the diameter of, because it's a 9 mil. You're talking about a 9 mil dart hitting a wooden target. It possibly won't stick. But going through a human target, hitting a human target with a 9 mil quill, it's going to go straight through them, possibly, almost all the way through. So you got to keep that in mind. And there's a lot of, it's devastating. It's devastating. But people get this wrong idea, like they see me like hitting like wooden targets and stuff. It's like, oh, well, it bounced off or whatever. No. I can go from a distance, and like I showed a video of me throwing quills from a distance. I was I don't know 30 feet. I was 30 feet away from the target, and I was doing no spin and throwing quills, and those quills were hitting dead center of my target. But people would still say, "Oh, well, whoop-de-doo, who cares?"
I can't throw quills. I ain't gonna lie. I've tried.
If those quills hit somebody dead center of the chest, they would go straight through their body. It's different. Quills are different than it doesn't go deep into wood targets. But once you hit the human body with a quill, it goes straight through. It's not the same. It's totally different than like I watched ballistic gel test of quills, and they're like a girl. There was a chick throwing quills into ballistic gel, and this was like, wow, like holy crap, like she's barely throwing them. And I'm like, not with my force, and that's like devastating. So it's just, I mean, that's just with quills. I mean, that's silliness. I've got Shrakens and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I got all kinds of weird stuff around here, like that's throwing stars, and I got just your standard different style knives. Different style knives that I have, I mean, will split wood. Some of the knives that I have just destroyed wood, destroyed it. I mean, I'll throw it and it splits the wood in half. Like I've tried, like like with some wood boards, like I'll try to practice inside the house and stuff, but it ends up splitting the wood. It splits it in half. I mean, it hits it and it just splits it down the middle. And I'm like, dang. I wish I could have tried a little bit more, because now it's just split in half.
There you go. And on the East Wing hatchet not sticking and stuff, depends on what kind of hatchet you're talking about, or tomahawk or whatever. East Wing makes all kinds of different tools. I can throw an East Wing hatchet, an East Wing camping axe, and the East Wing fireman's axe, and make them stick in anything I want them to. I cannot stick a East Wing drywall hatchet in crap.
No. So, I'm going to be honest to God with you, like right now, like when it comes to sticking hatchets, like if the wider the blade, the less chance you're going to have sticking it. Like it's just like a Viking axe. A Viking axe won't stick. A Viking axe won't stick for shit. It'll fall right out. I'll tell everybody, if people get mad, they get mad, like, no, not the Viking axe. No, bro, the Viking axe falls right out. Every time I throw, it doesn't matter. I've got a variety. I have it's like, brother, I have a variety of Viking axes, and every single one of them that will fall right out. They will not stick. They will not stick. Damage to the human body, I'm pretty sure they do a lot of damage to a human body. But when it comes to sticking a tree or sticking a block of wood, no, they do not stick. They're not meant for training. If you want to train, use a tomahawk. You need tomahawks, mountain style tomahawks, or frontier style tomahawks. If you Google search frontier tomahawk, you're going to find the best version of the tomahawk that you need to do the best throwing if you want to start experimenting with throwing tomahawks.
Yeah, the throwing tomahawks, believe it or not, the ones that they sell that are called throwing axes or whatever, the ones you like order a pair of them or whatever, they actually have a different edge on them. And if you're going to throw the axes, you actually have to put a different edge on them rather than one that's designed for chopping wood or splitting wood. They don't stick so good. You need a more sloping situation, if you will. Then
I'm telling you, the frontier. If you look up the best, I've tried all kinds of throwing axes, and the best one is the Frontier. All you gotta do is Google search Frontier, and it'll have Frontier in its name. So Frontier throwing axes are the best ones, man. I mean, by far. And the cheap Walmart hatchets that have the multi-tool sections to them, like I explained, like those El Cheapo hatchets that have like the wrench notches, like for like bolts and wrenches and whatever. I don't know what they're called.
Do you mean the
Those
cold
are the
steel?
dumbest. They're very dumb hatchets, but they're the best at
Cold
like
steel,
practicing.
Hawk, Tomahawk. That it?
Yeah, if you
$40.
look at if you're doing cold steel, do
Yeah, it's cold
cold
steel.
steel Frontier. Type
Yeah.
in cold steel Frontier, and you will
1055.
find the exact hatchet. That's the exact hatchet that I use.
And it's got
I
it's
use
a
the
20
cold,
inch handle.
Yep, I use the cold steel Frontier. That's what I use for my hatchet. And I love my Frontiers, man. Those things are awesome. They come razor sharp, when you get them, and they're super cheap, super duper cheap. Cold steel Frontier, and they're super cheap, and they're razor sharp. And man, you can nail them. I mean, you can nail them, drive them in there, man. I mean, you can it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how awesome they are. Like I mean, little to no experience at all, you could nail anything with one of those hatchets. It's amazing. It's just a balance. So much balance going on. It's amazing. But those El Cheapo Walmart hatchets, the ones with the little bolt markings into them and stuff, like for like multi-tool use, those will stick every single time. It doesn't matter which way you throw them. Those are the best ones to get if you want to get into throwing little hatchets. Those cheap.
We have a national axe throwing competition, man. It's actually a pretty big deal. They have like rules and all this and scoring points and blah blah blah.
That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. They love that stuff. They get crazy with it. I mean, there's YouTube channels that are just devoted to traveling and doing these events, and they get crazy. They get wild. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. They throw like full on huge axes and stuff. Like it's a thing, man. It's a thing. Like you gotta nail it.
When we were younger, these what were those? What did them ladies call themselves that always showed up at the fair? And they'd throw double bit axes and everything. They would always like ask volunteers out of the audience and stuff. And I would always throw my hand up, but my wife would make me put it down. I was like, I'll throw that stuff.
It's not hard. It's not hard. You just got to get the distance right.
Yep. And that's the deal. I mean, they had everything marked out at 15 paces. So I was like, man, that's the perfect. That's the perfect. That's where I practice at. Let me play. No, shut up. And she wouldn't let me chase the pigs either. I don't know what that was all about. Something about not chasing a greased pig at the fair. I mean, I thought everybody chased greased pigs at the fair, but apparently not everybody.
I don't know what it is like distance wise. I think it goes into like, for example, for me, like if someone shortens the distance on me, I have to crank harder. I have to crank harder on what I'm throwing, and if someone like has me do like further away, then I don't have to crank as hard because it's more of a just let it rotate and let do its thing. Because at that point you can't do no spin because you're letting it rotate, and you just let it rotate, and it goes in like so many feet away. I've determined now, like visually, like it's good that I do this practicing often because visually I can look at something and say, well, I need this much spin or I don't. It would determine like how hard I swing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I swing harder when I'm further away, but when I'm closer, I don't swing as hard. I just lightly swing.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. I always practice from the same point or whatever because that's where you got to throw from. But somebody brought up something over here on the chat that I'm going to do a trivia question on. It's what if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. The game Dodgeball. How old historically is the game Dodgeball?
Not for me.
Can
Not my
tell me how long Dodgeball has been played by the youth of the world?
Probably since Cain and Abel.
It has been played for centuries. Why is there such a game as known as it didn't used to be called Dodgeball? Why did they play that game? It was to teach the kids to dodge projectiles. It was training for warfare. They were letting their kids play a game that taught them to dodge a rock being thrown at them, taught them to dodge an axe being thrown at them, taught them to see an arrow headed their way and get out of the way.
Okay.
It's taught to increase situational awareness and muscle memory reflex to get out of the way of a projectile. That's and they're not allowed to play dodgeball in school anymore because it's barbaric or something. I don't know what it was. You can't play dodgeball in school, man.
I'm telling you, man, what I'm teaching people is important. I'm teaching people something important. All of you out there should be picking up a knife and throwing it at something to try and figure out how many twists or whatever and distance and yada, yada, yada that needs to take to hit a target to stick. You need to be.
Hey,
all you fools, even Wes S. and Miss Wes S. Y'all need to be practicing.
I try to throw it in Wesley Wines. I'm telling you.
Miss Wes S., listen to me. You need to be practicing. You got to get on it. You throwing them knives.
See, Wes, he said I can throw knives.
No, dude,
you need to go,
man.
You need to go. Listen. I'm telling you right now, y'all need to go to a thrift store and pick up a bunch of old crappy kitchen knives and then go in your backyard, like a buck. It might cost you $1. Get a bunch of old crappy kitchen knives and even steak knives and just start throwing them at stuff. I mean, cardboard boxes, feral cats, whatever. I mean, y'all need to start practicing your game. You get on this stuff, man. I'm telling you.
She has nearly put steel in me twice. When she gets mad, she throws stuff. Whatever's closest is what she throws. And
kitchen knives, man.
Once it was a Marine K-bar, and that one almost got me.
See, now y'all are throwing some delicate weapons. You need to throw some not so delicate weapons, like some El Cheapo thrift store kitchen knives and some El Cheapo steak knives. That's what you need to be throwing. I'm serious. That's what I throw. I throw a lot of that stuff. I go to the thrift store and I grab like a rack of kitchen knives for $1 and I pay $1 and I take them to the house and I throw those at my wooden targets till I get better. And then I work on my more expensive knives. That's how I do it. I don't heck no. I don't use my expensive stuff to practice with. I use my El Cheapo, average, everyday stuff. That way, in case I'm in someone's house, you ever watch? Was it was it oh crap, Deadpool, the Deadpool movie?
Yeah.
Oh boy, like he's like in the kitchen and he goes straight for the kitchen knives, man. That's what he does. Like as soon as those intruders came, he grabbed the kitchen knives and he started throwing them, and that's what's up. He practiced with kitchen knives, and so that's what I would do. I'm saying, like, in the event that I'm in a situation where I'm being attacked by a bunch of people, I got a kitchen knives in my house, so they're access. Like, I can just open the drawer and grab kitchen knives and throw them. Butter knives. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding about this, and I don't make this stuff up. But butter knives will stick in targets. They will stick if you throw them correctly. They will. You can even no spin freaking freaking butter knives. I took butter knives and I was like sticking them in the target. It's ridiculous. They didn't even have an edge on them. No point, no edge, and kitchen knives were sticking in my target.
I used to have a set of butter knives that I had points sharpened onto them, and I used to throw those all the time. But I try not to throw them.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Butter knives will stick. It's a bananas. Butter knives will actually stick. Right? I was telling people that. I was like, dude, butter knives will stick. I'm like, no way. No, yeah, dude, seriously, try it. And you can even no spin freaking butter knives. They have no tip to them at all, but they still stick. They bend, obviously. I mean, a lot of them broke, that I threw. I was going to make a video about it, but I changed my mind. I figured it'd be too corny for YouTube. They wouldn't like it, but yeah, no, you can no spin freaking butter knives. They stick right in the target. It's amazing.
He's talking about throwing butter knives and stuff like that, and I keep seeing that thing off of Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever, where they load all the silverware in the cannon and shoot that guy, and it sticks in his eyeball, the wooden eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh. It's anybody there? Are there any questions from the audience? Anybody have any legitimate questions out there? I tell you what, Robert and Cindy, more of them big glass ashtrays, they can take a freaking light right off the ceiling, right by your head. I know that. If something like that were to ever happen, it would be a possibility that it could do a lot of damage to the house. You cannot practice throwing your knives, dear.
You said legitimate questions. It was a question.
Legitimate. You can practice throwing your knives at something other than me. There. Is that specific enough? I will build you a target. I will even put a picture of myself on it. Just not me. Oh, Wes asks, if the family, LS is asking, if the family is condition white, what are some items they may have in the car they need to bring with them since they won't have a get-home bag? Ooh. Let's see, they're condition white. They're on a road trip out in the middle of nowhere, so chances are they're going from one large city to another large city for whatever. We can only hope that they're planning on spending a few days there and they have something other than their flip-flops and their gym shorts. And only hope that they have some shoes. Me personally, the first thing I do is say, "Hey, you want to wear that? We're going to be sleeping in the woods." You know, I doubt seriously that they're even going to have a blanket. They might have a Snuggie. You know, I would make them bring their Snuggie if they had a Snuggie. If they had beach towels, I'd make them grab their beach towels. I mean, that's a pinch. That's something to cover up with, and something to put down over the leaves so you'll have something to lay on, whatever. Yeah, and they should have snacks if they have the small kids, you would think. You know, if they've got leftover Happy Meals in the back, you make sure they pack them. And Smoking Locust is exactly right. They should bring the car door in case it gets hot. They can roll the window down. I don't know. In the modern cars, there's not a lot of stuff worth salvaging, honestly. I mean, off the car there, you know, I would say, okay, hey, bud, you need to pop the trunk and you need to see if there's any kind of a tire iron in there because you got nothing. I mean, you need something to smack somebody upside the head with. You know, in case there's any beaver bears or anything out here. I don't know. You could only hope that they had something, you know, bathrobes, beach towels. The kids each had their own favorite blankie or pillow or something. It sounds messed up, but somebody's front seat, if they didn't have any baggage or anything, if it was a day trip, they're screwed. You're screwed. The number of people that jump into a vehicle and drive for 4.5, 5 hours with nothing in the vehicle with them but what they have on their body and a bottle of water they bought for the drive amazes me. We helped a young lady that spun out on ice once, and the only thing, I mean, she was driving in an ice storm from Dallas Fort Worth to Lubbock, Texas, and the only thing she had in there in that vehicle with her were the clothes she had on her body, and she did not have a jacket. She didn't have a hat. She didn't have gloves. It's the middle of the winter. She didn't even have warm clothing. If we hadn't stopped, because we were the only other vehicle for miles, and she was upside down in the vehicle. If we hadn't have been there and seen it happen and stopped, she would have been covered in a half an inch of ice. And what it went from a little bit of ice to bam, a sheet of ice in minutes. I mean, she would have died. Or I don't see how she could have made it. Not with all the windows busted out and nothing. That was what, 5 years ago now? That's going to be easy to remember forever. Yeah, if you're willing to strip the car off, I mean, you've got the roof liner, the carpet out of the turtle, they're lucky they're real hubcaps. Somebody has a set of real hubcaps. You know, that's a discussion we need to have is, you know, what are some of the things you could salvage off of a disabled vehicle to keep your butt alive? Oh,
really? Yeah, that's a topic and a half.
Yeah. The new vehicles, you can't even swipe the air filter canister because used for a cooking thing because they're plastic. But you know, I don't know. I think they're making each day they make something easier on us. You know, like a new technology or a new invention or innovation or whatever. Every time they come up with something, it actually dooms more people to die in a collapse. If there is a worldwide event, it's just making more bodies. Every time it gets easier, it just makes more bodies.
Yeah, and no one's being taught any of this stuff. So that, like, you're talking about like salvaging items from a vehicle. It's like the rubber lining from like the door jambs and things like that, like for a fire starter or fire tender, and like there's so much things that are like people are not going to assume that all this stuff is useful. They're going to ditch the car and just roll. They're ditching like the most valuable part of their lives. Like you could use the carpet for a hammock or something to sleep on, to sleep around you, for installation or. There's so much insulation, in a cold environment, but in an extreme heat environment, you'd be looking for things to start like a fire or whatever. But I don't know, man. It's one of those things like, people don't care. I mean, they just don't care about that aspect of survival. Man, I talk to so many people that are dimwits, like on a daily basis. So, I mean, it's like when I tell people I'm into preparedness, they say, "What does that mean? What does it mean that you're in preparedness?" I'm into preparedness, and what do? You like prepare veterans for the life after the military? No, that's not what I do. Preparedness, fool. I teach people survival and preparedness, survivalist stuff. Like, how 90 million different ways to use paracord, or 20 million different ways to use a Bic lighter, or, all these different things that you find laying around your house. 13 different ways to use a freaking toaster oven. I teach you these things for a reason.
LS has
how to filter water, and it's like I ain't got time for that. People tell me all the time, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to learn how to do this stuff. Fine, me and my boys are going to be living a lot longer than you. I'm telling you right now.
We're gonna get to all their stuff. All right, Wayne, I'm gonna let you fill this one. Where'd it go? Man panel. Once you have, this is LS again, everyone ready to go and start the hike, what's the first thing you teach them or job you assign when you get to camp? Wayne.
Oh, when we get to camp?
Yep. The first camp.
80 miles means we will have to camp a night or two, right?
Yeah, 80 miles means we have to camp a night or two, yes. So you're looking at that the first camp, I'm guessing she's saying at the first camp, once you have everyone ready to go and start the hike, what's the first thing you teach them or job you assign when you get to camp? That's her question.
I'd probably show them how to build a basic shelter. Depending on the situation, I might not want to start a fire.
Yeah, that's me on the fire thing. I wouldn't, the first night after an EMP event, I wouldn't sweat a fire. And unless we're in a savanna somewhere or something, there's a bunch of dry grass or dead trees or whatever, or whatever. But
I'd probably just show them how to build a shelter, and depending on where we're at, if there's plant life around, maybe show them a little bit about herbal medicine, wild edibles, just basic things that they need to stay alive. I've seen how fast society breaks down. I used to go to places. I used to go to places that were in situations like that on a regular basis, and I'm not going to risk getting seen by a fire, cooking food, anything like that, because it happens faster than what people think it does. They say it happens in 3 days. It happens in 6 hours.
That's possible too. All right, Just Aid, what would you do? Same situation. What are you going to tell them to do when you first get to camp?
Well, set a shelter up, look for water, try and make sure everyone's morale's up and make sure everyone's else okay, I suppose.
Well, okay, remember these people are conditioned white. They don't have a clue about anything. Is there anything specific you would teach them while you had the chance? Because you make your first trip is the 80 miles, and then they're going to be on their own. You've got 3 days, 4 days to teach these people to do it on their own. I think is what she's getting at. I mean, what do you try to impart? What choice do you give them to keep Mr. Dickhead from being a total dickhead?
Well, ignore him for a start and just do what you got to do. Set your own camp up, let people watch you, and then and prove by example, prove by actions. Well, actions speak louder than words, I suppose. And you can just got to do just set your camp up, sort yourself out, and hope people follow you and listen to what you say.
That's probably pretty true, because you can't. I mean, if the people wanted to know this stuff, chances are they would have learned it already. That one book, that set of books you gave me, Wayne, about the magic blue light or whatever, the unicorn aliens taking out all the electronics and gunpowder and everything.
Yeah.
What those kids and stuff, the first couple of nights, they didn't want to know. And it bit them in the butt when those guys showed up at the cabin or whatever. So yeah, well, I guess you just have to do, and if they wanted to pick up on it, they'd pick up on it. Just you're right. I don't think you could teach them anything. You got anything? Oh, where'd you go?
I'm here.
No, that's West Bell. I was fitting to ask him. Anyway, okay. Maybe his battery died. He'll come back in a minute, maybe. Any other questions out there? That my crack lighter, you telling all my stories? That thing's wicked, man. It'll burn right through shit. All right, good night, Savage. Dude, what do you do when one of the group proves to be a snake, like you catch them trying to steal your prepared resources? Yeah, that's not going to go well. Okay, Justin, what do you do if you catch one of the family that you're trying to help trying to steal your stuff?
Go mental, probably.
Yeah. That's how about you?
As simple as that.
Got anything to add, Wayne? From somebody, the one of the family tries to steal your stuff.
I'd leave them to die at that point.
Yeah, that would be it. It'd be,
because they're doing the same thing to you.
Yeah. I was trying to help y'all. Y'all crossed the line here. Y'all on your own.
Yeah, that's where it stops, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, they just, I mean, okay. I mean, I was trying to be cool.
Didn't say nothing. I just packed my stuff and leave.
Well, you got to get it back first. I mean, that would be the deal. I would leave them, and this is me personally. Now, this is not very Christian, so take it as you will. But, you know, if you get caught, you know, you go to prison and you stay there until it's all paid. That's red letters. You know, if I catch you stealing my stuff, I'm going to break your hand and I'm going to take my stuff back and I'm going to leave. And then you're going to be out there with you and your family and you got a broken hand.
LS hasn't opened.
What do you currently have planned for shelter in your get home bag? Is it adaptable for more people? Wayne, you got enough room to shelter more than one person if you had to?
I got a tarp in my get home bag and one underneath the lid where my spare tire is. I could probably shelter more than one person.
I could improvise something for more than one person. There would be enough room for me and the pretty wife at least. Just
They could all share a tarp. I don't know them. I wouldn't want them under my tarp with me sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that would be the only thing. I mean, we don't know these people. Me, I know I can, depending on where we're at, you know, if we're in this part of the world, that's why I keep a tarp because, yeah, shelter's material is not real handy here. If I'm up somewhere where there's a lot of, what are those stupid little pine trees that everybody cuts the branches off of to make the lean-tos? What are those called? Firs?
Yeah.
You know, if there's Christmas trees all over the place, I'll be like, hey, here's the tarp, because by the time y'all figure out how to make the tarp shelter or whatever, I've got me a lean-to over here. I'm out of the weather. You know, here I can make do with my, honestly, with my hammock, even as a ground tarp or whatever. You know, so I could, if I'm not worried about water or rain or anything like that, quite honestly, I'm not putting anything up over my head. I mean, the only reason you need a tarp up is if you're hiding from the sun or hiding from the rain. And if you're sleeping at night, you're not doing that. You're just looking for a windbreak or whatever. You find a downed log, or unless you're in the swamp, then you don't lay down by a downed log. Do not lay down by a downed log in the swamp. Okay, everybody got that? Good. And check under the downed log in the desert. Okay, everybody got that? Good.
I'd probably find me a nice overhang out here.
Yeah. See, my deal is everybody talks about, I'm going to go spend 20 days out in the woods in Canada. Okay, why don't you pick some place where things can hurt you? Y'all have bears that run away from you or moose that run away from you. Why don't you come down here where everything has a stinger or teeth or something, where something's liable to run up out of a hole in the ground and bite you on the back of the leg just because you happen to walk by the wrong hole in the ground. Or you think it's a ground squirrel hole, and next thing you know, you got a 4-inch tarantula on your face.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sleep on the ground out here.
I don't like to sleep on the ground. If the first thing I do when I'm sleeping rough here is I look for a big flat rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're attuned to what's going on, you can hear that no shoulder son of a gun coming across the rock. You don't sleep well. You don't get no dream sleep, but you can doze all night. You can let your muscles relax, but you can't tell whether it's something sliding through the grass or whether it's you breathing if you're laying on top of grass. So, yeah. Okay, LS is what you like Googling these questions, girl? Panel and chat. Favorite style shelters for your particular terrain or conditions? How about you, Just Dave? What's your favorite shelter of choices?
Ponchos, tarps, and bashes.
And what's that like?
We call them bashes. It's a camouflage tarp, army issue, and it's 9 foot by 9 foot, and there's tons of eyelets and loops and stuff on it, and it's a bit bigger than your standard army issue poncho. I use ponchos as well, yeah.
Okay, and you, Wayne, what's your favorite? I mean, not necessarily what you carry with you, but your of choice. What's your favorite shelter of choice?
Lean-to works good for me. I like to run 2 tarps, a lean-to or a wedge type of shelter with another tarp over it to block the wind and the rain. But I'm from Washington, where you get the sideways rain. It's like Forrest Gump in the jungle.
Yeah. See, that's I like to hear you're worried about the sun, the wind, and the thunderstorm, okay? And let's say it's in the wintertime. If you can throw up a tarp shelter that blocks the wind off of you, then you might be able to get warm enough to sleep if you can stay out of the wind. I do the tarp shelters. My go-to thing, if I know it's going to get cold at night and I've got an extra hour, if I can find the place and I've got an hour to get it set up, my butt's going to break out a shovel and I'm going to dig a hole. I'm sorry, you cannot beat a hole in the desert. You can't do it. You cannot beat a hole in the ground for a place to spend the night.
I was just about to say that. I'm gonna start carrying a shovel with my gear because of where we're at. I can dig a hole in the ground during the day and throw a tarp up and stay cool, or at night I could dig down and stay warmer. Thinking about ordering one of those cold steel ones.
Yeah. Well, the tool I got worked to pieces was my little camping shovel that we carried down to South Texas. It did everything. It was, you had to go poop. You took the shovel. You dig a hole. You used the shovel. I mean, I was breaking firewood with it. I was smacking dry wood, shovel. It's I ain't going up in Okefenokee. The swamps over in Louisiana bad enough. I learned my lesson about that hammock. I got me a Snuggie to go on the outside of it now. And Wes and people, do you carry water in your get-home bag? If so, how much? What methods do you plan on using to procure more water? Just Date, how much water do you carry? Or do you carry water?
4 pints.
4 pints?
Carry 4 pints, yeah.
So that's a gallon.
Half a gallon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, half a gallon. That's pretty good, actually. But y'all got a little bit more water available over there. Y'all got like puddles everywhere, don't you? Usually.
Yeah, most places, yeah.
How about you, Wayne? How much water do you keep accessible to your get out of dock?
I usually keep between a half a case and a case of water in both vehicles. If I drink it down, I'll go get some more. But my get home bag has a 24-ounce stainless steel single wall bottle, and my survival bag that I take when I go hiking. That always stays in the car too, because sometimes I just go whenever. And that one's got two 32-ounce Nalgene bottles in it.
And what do y'all use for to procure more water with the fancy words and stuff? I'm pretty sure she's Googling these questions. The last time, and what methods do you plan on using to procure more water? Either one of y'all can go first. Y'all can fight it out.
Justin can go first.
Well, I've got good maps, so I'll try and find streams, rivers, that sort of thing. Use plastic bags, all sorts. That's me.
For me out here, there isn't too much. There's a quarry and a reservoir nearby, but all the water tanks are up on hills and are gravity fed. So even a lights out situation, everything still should work. I got the life straw adapters for the Nalgene bottles, the potable agua pure, which that filtered that water out around the farms. That worked pretty good. And I also carry a Silcott key in my get home bag so I can access water in the city.
Yeah, see that I got to get one of those. I used to have a little crescent wrench. You could do it, but now they've got that. Instead, it used to just say take the handle off, but they realized that people were just using little wrenches to turn it on anyway. So now they've got that stupid lock thing on the top of it where you got to have the thing that fits it. Anyway, the purification tablets work, but man, you better have something in there to make that water potable. They make it so nasty. It does not taste good after you do it. But if you're thirsty, you're going to drink it, I suppose.
That agua potable thing I did the video on, that thing worked pretty good.
Now, I keep chlorine bleach. I rotate chlorine bleach out in mine because it 4 drops to a gallon of water? It's 4 drops to a gallon of water in 30 minutes, and you got drinking water. So,
I don't trust just chlorine. I'll use it in a pinch if I absolutely has to. But cryptosporidium is really resistant to chlorine and iodine. That's why you should always filter and treat.
One of the big, powerful tools that we have here, and you'll have at your main location that y'all are going to, is solar energy. If you have a glass container, you can do it with a plastic bottle, but be aware that whole it could chemicals into the water, blah blah blah. Long term, you after years after years after years, it's not good for you. But if you have a clear glass container or a clear plastic container, you can get the water, do the bleach, and then set it in the sun for 45 minutes?
Yeah, you have to keep rotating them too.
Yeah.
But only do it up to 16 or 20 ounces. It has to be a certain size bottle or it doesn't work. If it's too big of a bottle, it doesn't work. It doesn't kill everything in it.
You gotta you can what do you call it? It's a pint on plastic, which is 12 ounces, I think, or something like that. Or glass, you can go to a quart because the glass, it gets hotter. And that you want to set it, you want to set it on something dark. You know, if you can set it down on, and it's got to be direct sunlight. You can't do it. It can't be a cloudy day or whatever. But here, you can nearly boil water in a glass jar. We brew tea with it all the time. You just put the tea in the gallon jug, the tea bags in the gallon jug, set it out there and wait 35 minutes and bring it in and you got tea. It's
My mom used to make sun tea. She'd leave it out like all day.
nah, it doesn't take it. Trust me, it doesn't take that long here. But I can use that. We have a sun oven, and we can bake bread in that puppy here. It takes takes 20 minutes in the oven to make a biscuit, or it takes 40 minutes in the sun oven to make the same biscuit. So
yeah, you know, I've read about those for years, but I've never tried one.
Dude, if for like chicken, roast, bread, baked potatoes, that thing, the sun oven's the bomb in the summertime, man. And we actually tried it. We did it on a day, what, it was 55 degrees outside or something like that when we made the biscuit. It took 40-something minutes to brown the biscuit. But it was 55 degrees outside. Bright, sunny day, but that sun oven still got it hot enough to brown a biscuit.
I'm going to try it next time we go up to the homestead with the kids.
The one we got, what, it was 300 and some change or something like that. And it come with all the cooking gear and the drying racks and everything.
So next time I go up there, I really want to build a sandstone oven, do a video on it. Build it out of sandstone, like the natives used to make their bread ovens.
Yes.
I really want to do one of those.
And somebody brought up pool shock in here. The pool shock, the dried chlorine or whatever, is great in Delaware. If you're going to poison the dart, are you talking about just like knocking an animal down with it or something like that, or whatever? But dried chlorine on the tip of the chlorine powder or whatever on the tip of the dart, when it gets into the tissue, will activate into very strong chlorine, and it will start burning the tissue immediately around the injury. Just FYI, it can cause third-degree burns on the skin. If you're curious about stuff like that. So, yeah. I didn't say that on the live stream, though. Because the only reason we know is because we had a nephew that picked up and held onto a wet chlorine tablet. He went to the hospital.
That sucks, man.
Yeah. And you can buy chlorine tablets for chlorinating a water well in a 55 or a 50-pound sack. They're the size of an aspirin.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Dried chlorine. I just don't take them. Don't think they're an aspirin and screw up. But I think one tablet will do 5 gallons of water. Or maybe it's 10. You should do some reading on that.
Yeah, that's why I haven't gotten the RV stuff, because I'm not quite sure on it.
The way you got to do the pool shock crap is you make the chlorine bleach, and then you use the chlorine bleach that you've made. You don't just put the powder in the water you're planning on drinking. You have to have a container to turn the pool shock into chlorine bleach, and then use the chlorine bleach to purify the water. Because dealing with that pool shock, you're a little bit goes a long way, and you don't want to drink 50-50 bleach. Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't even think you want to. Honestly, I think it would be a really bad idea to drink 10% bleach. I mean, that sterilizes everything on the countertop. That's what they're sterilizing the tables with at the cafe. So I'm pretty sure you don't want every bacteria in your intestine or in your digestive system dead.
Yeah.
Bad. Any more questions? Ooh. Dried chlorine and brake fluid make a very quick hot burning fire. I did not know that. Yeah, it'll do that. Chlorine powder is bad news. All right, Delaware, have a good night. Oh, wow, it is getting late.
Good night, Delaware.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do that kind of stuff misplaced. I've gotten a little bit of residual chlorine dust in my eyes. That hurt, and that hurt for a while.
That reminds me. If you get in a serious situation, don't use mace or pepper spray or OC or whatever you want to call it. Use brake cleaner. I used to do OC training every 6 months and train other people on it. Their yearly training, we get batches every 6 months. And OC training is something that you can deal with and fight through it and everything. But carburetor cleaner. I stuck a motorcycle carb in a bucket after working like 15 hours. And I was way too tired to be doing this stuff, and I wasn't paying attention. I just stuck my head over the bucket and sprayed it. My eyes were burning for like 10 days straight. Like they were messed up, and there wasn't nothing I could do about it.
Be aware, though, if you spray carburetor cleaner in somebody's face, it's permanent. That's the only thing. And the brake cleaner works just fine too. But carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner, what is that other one? Oh yeah, the always lovely what do you call it? That diesel engines get addicted starting fluid.
Yeah. It's basically ether.
It's the starting fluid maybe not quite so permanent unless they get a good lung full, and then it could be really permanent. So, yeah. Trust me, I've got that stuff in my eyes. And not the ether, but the carburetor cleaner and the brake cleaner. I can't believe I can still see, honestly.
Yeah, same here. I've got a lot of stuff in my eyes.
The wasp spray might do the same thing, because that's like the old stuff would.
Well, you got to get that 30-footer. Get the 30-foot wasp spray. You got a nice little flamethrower. That's my spider tool.
Yes, Chipper, you get a gold star with a rainbow tassel. You have to make it yourself, though. I hate those, man. I was standing right next to a panel when it was a 3-phase, 443 phase, and they blew, man. There were blue particles everywhere. the guy that signed my paychecks was even closer to me, and instead of being smart and just running, I went over there and grabbed him and covered him up. Didn't get a bonus for saving his butt or nothing. And kicking flaming blue pieces of metal out away from his feet and stuff. And he's just like, oh, what was that? Man, it blew up, boss. That LS taking power naps.
Seen a big old DC generator blow up at work. The guy that was in it, it gave him Tourette's. Dude was all messed up and like had Tourette's afterwards after he healed.
Yeah, that Keisha K or whatever. Yeah, don't use stuff that's not designed for. Don't, have tools in your vehicle if you're going to carry the brake fluid or the carburetor cleaner and stuff like that. Don't just whatever. And as far as that goes, man, window cleaner.
The carburetor cleaners for more serious, situations.
We're talking WROL situation here.
Don't do no redneck unless you know how to redneck.
Yeah. Dude, you don't want to get Windex in your eye either, man. Quite honestly, you just do not.
No, that sucks too.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that, there's a warning. They put warnings on all kinds of stuff. So don't get this in your eye. Really? What? Oh, that's why.
Hydraulic fluid's another one that sucks. Taking a lot of hydraulic baths.
Dang, did y'all know Rosanol lighter fluid is a cancer-causing agent?
Just about everything.
Wow.
The lighter fluid itself, yeah, you don't want to breathe it when you first light it up.
Were y'all in here when I read this thing on that the HDB sent me or whatever, the future hold for the Strategic National Stockpile for the biodefense stuff? Man, I was reading that again. Man, it just drives me nuts that they've spent all this time practicing making cancer with chemicals, and we've been paying them to do it.
Are they in California?
They're everywhere, dude.
California's like Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything magically causes cancer here.
Yeah. Dude, I remember when I was a kid, they come out with eating too many potatoes would cause cancer. I was like, what? And then they come out too much wheat products would cause cancer. And I'm like, what? And then coffee would cause cancer. And then a few years later, potatoes cure heart disease. Whole grain wheat reduces the chance for cancer and heart failure. And then 2 cups of coffee a day can cause you to live longer. And I'm just like, okay, which one is it?
Alcohol's good for your heart.
Yeah, alcohol's good for your heart. A glass of wine a day is good for the soul and all that.
2 drinks for men, 1 for women is good for your heart. Keeps your blood from stagnating, I guess.
Known by the state of cancer to cause California, pretty much, yeah. I got this fake butter here. I wonder if it causes cancer.
Oh, man, I'm bleeding all over this thing.
I had said to shake well before use. I didn't read that. I was wondering why it didn't taste right.
Man, I do nothing but cut my hands up like crazy. You wouldn't think doing leather work you would cut the crap out of yourself all the time.
Are you using a knife?
No, I'm using an edging tool.
Oh, blade on it?
I just edged my knuckle.
Oh, dude. I just pictured my hand because I've done that. I mean, I've got like smooth place. What what is it, like your pointer fingers? The main knuckle thing right there?
Yeah, the first finger, the main one, the one you touch your thumb with.
Both hands, man, it's nothing but scar tissue right there on the side of where that knuckle is. What is with that? Why is that knuckle there? It should be like indented or something.
I'm just lucky I heal fast. Like, none of my major scars from like some of the really bad stuff I've been in over the years, most of them have gone away.
LS is stagnating. What does that mean? Bless you.
Thanks.
Oh, I guess like from like getting stressed out or your blood getting too thick. I don't know. It thins the blood, makes it pump better or something. I'm not a doctor. Play one on TV.
It's for popcorn, dude. Butter popcorn seasoning. I was trying to make it taste more like the stuff I get at the theater because I got the movie Alpha and I was gonna eat popcorn and watch the movie and I wanted extra buttery stuff on it. You know that stuff that you can only that it's in the salt shaker at the movie theater. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That yellow stuff that you put on the popcorn that makes it so flippin' delicious.
Oh, the butter.
Yeah, but where do you buy that at, man?
It's like super butter.
All right, Smolo. Yeah, I'm gonna break this up here too. Oh, that's what stagnating means. Okay. Well, here, later, Smolo. Y'all, folks, I'm gonna tap out too. Either one of you guys got anything y'all want to tell these people before they all run away?
I know.
No, not really. Nothing today. I've been up for like 22 hours now.
Oh, wow. See,
My brain's a bit, yeah.
Everybody's burned out. All right, folks, we will see y'all tomorrow night after, what do you call it? It's Step One Survivals podcast, live stream, whatever. I think he said he's doing it on Patreon tomorrow night, though. So it's $1 a month, man. Step One Survival.
Yeah.
It's worth it. And he makes you famous. He puts your name on the videos now. So y'all, thank y'all for coming in and hanging out with us. These guys both have content and channels. If you want to give them a subscribe and go watch some videos, get some thumbs up and stuff. It won't hurt their feelings none at all. Appreciate all y'all coming in, hanging out with us. Y'all stay alive, don't die. Y'all want
Thanks for listening to us ramble tonight, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care now.
Here. God bless. Y'all stay alive, don't die.